Dealerships are loaded with cars they just can't sell. While most, if not all Toyotas are flying off the lots, other brands are piling up with no buyers in sight. High prices, poor reliability, or just bad timing. What's keeping these cars from moving? Today, we're looking at 10 more cars that are stuck at dealerships, breaking down the numbers and the reasons why buyers aren't interested. Starting with Number 1. Dodge Hornet. The Dodge Hornet has too much hype, but not enough buyers. It was supposed to give Dodge a real contender in the compact SUV market, but instead, it's stuck on dealership lots. With an average price of $32,330, dealers are dealing with a 428-day supply. That's 14,596 unsold units, making it one of the slowest moving new cars today. In the last month, Dodge has only managed to move about 1,500 units, which isn't promising for a model that was supposed to bring new energy to the brand. One major issue is brand confusion. The Hornet is a rebadged Alfa Romeo Tonale, which doesn't exactly help Dodge's reputation for muscle cars. It's built on the same platform, shares many of the same parts, and even has a nearly identical interior. Buyers looking for a sporty Dodge SUV don't want a rebadged Alfa, and buyers looking for a luxury crossover definitely aren't shopping at a Dodge dealership. Then there's reliability. While it's too early for long-term data, Consumer Reports have flagged concerns over the Hornet's electronics and transmission, both of which are historically weak points in Stellantis cars. Fuel economy is also nothing special. The base 2.0-liter turbo model gets 24 mpg combined, while the plug-in hybrid barely manages 32 miles of all-electric range before the gas engine kicks in. That's less than what you get from a Toyota RAV4 Prime, which has a full 42 miles of electric range and much better resale value. The base GT trim starts at $32,330, but the loaded RT Plus plug-in hybrid costs almost $47,000, putting it dangerously close to more well-known premium SUVs, so the pricing isn't helping. Without serious initiatives or a complete brand rethink, this one is just a really expensive paperweight. Number 2. Mercedes-Benz EQB. The Mercedes-Benz EQB was supposed to be the brand's answer to the growing luxury EV market, but it's a tough sell. Right now, dealerships are stuck with a 427-day supply, leaving 3,546 units unsold across the US. In the last few months, dealers have only been able to sell around 373 units, meaning buyers are more inclined towards other EV brands like Tesla and Rivian. One of the biggest problems is the pricing. The base EQB 250 Plus starts at $52,750, but the fully loaded EQB 350 4MATIC can push past $70,000. That puts it right up against the Tesla Model Y, BMW iX, and even the Genesis GV60, all of which offer more range, better tech, and stronger reputation in the EV market. The EQB 250 Plus only offers an EPA estimated 245 miles of range, while the dual-motor EQB 350 barely manages 221 miles, which is a major downgrade when competitors are pushing 300-plus miles per charge. Reliability is also a major concern with German brands. Consumer Reports give the EQB a below-average predictive reliability rating, with early owners reporting software glitches, laggy infotainment, and battery performance issues in cold weather. Some have even complained about cheap-feeling interior materials, which isn't something you'd expect from a Mercedes. The base EQB 250 Plus starts at $52,750, and higher trims start to creep past $60,000. That's a tough sell when the Hyundai Ioniq 5 starts at $41,450, with better range and charging speeds. Buyers looking for a premium EV often go for a Tesla or BMW anyway. On top of that, early owners have reported battery drain issues, with some claiming the SUV loses 10% of its charge in just 2 days while parked. For an electric vehicle that's supposed to be convenient, that's a major red flag. Despite Mercedes' push towards electrification, the EQB isn't gaining much traction. Dealers are offering incentives and lease discounts just to clear inventory, but with better options on the market, it's not looking good. Number 3. Lincoln Aviator. The Lincoln Aviator was supposed to be Lincoln's comeback in the luxury SUV market, but it's just sitting on dealer lots. Dealers are stuck with an 8,153 unit backlog, which translates to a 392-day supply, which is one of the worst in the US market. In the last 45 days, just 935 units have been sold, meaning inventory isn't moving anytime soon. The price is one of the main problems. The Aviator starts at $54,735, but fully equipped models can easily surpass $90,000. At that price, buyers can get a BMW X5, an Audi Q7, or even a Cadillac XT6, all of which offer better resale value and brand prestige. Consumer Reports rate the 2024 Aviator's dependability as a pitiful 2 out of 5, which owners complaining of transmission troubles, suspension problems, and frequent electrical breakdowns. Some have even complained about the infotainment system randomly freezing or crashing, making the whole experience feel far from premium. Fuel economy is another weak point. The standard 3.0-liter twin-turbo V6 manages just 21 mpg combined, which is worse than many full-sized SUVs. Even the plug-in hybrid Grand Touring model, which should be more efficient, only gets 23 mpg combined, so that's hardly an improvement. With ongoing reliability issues and stronger competition, buyers are simply looking elsewhere. Number 4. Mini Cooper 4-door. The Mini Cooper 4-door was meant to offer the brand's signature charm with added practicality, but nobody's convinced. Dealerships are stuck with a 355-day supply, leaving 1,271 units unsold across 105 US locations, so there's a pretty weak demand. One of the biggest issues is that the 4-door doesn't offer enough advantages over the classic 2-door model. At a starting price of $26,795, that's about $1,500 more than the 2-door, it sacrifices the traditional Mini styling and nimble handling without adding much space. For buyers looking for practicality, it doesn't offer enough to justify the price jump. The base model is powered by a 1.5-liter turbocharged 3-cylinder, and it only gets an EPA estimated 28 mpg in the city and 39 mpg on the highway. It's decent, but these numbers don't stand out in a market filled with larger, more versatile compact cars that offer similar efficiency. Considering Minis are BMWs under a different brand, it has a reputation for expensive repairs, which makes potential buyers hesitant. Mini's US sales dropped 21.5% in 2024, with 26,299 vehicles sold, compared to 33,497 in 2023. As Mini transitions towards EVs, like the upcoming Cooper Electric and Countryman EV, the 4-door just doesn't work, because enthusiasts still prefer the 2-door for its iconic design, while those needing space are choosing the Countryman. Number 5. Acura ZDX. The Acura ZDX was Acura's first all-electric model built on the same platform as the Cadillac Lyriq. But despite all the hype, it's struggling to find buyers. Right now, dealerships are sitting on a 340-day supply, with 4,132 unsold units across the US. Even with the $7,500 EV tax credit, sales have been sluggish, with just 547 units sold in the last 45 days. This is mostly because of the ZDX starting price of $64,500, which puts it in direct competition with the Tesla Model Y Performance and BMW iX. Both of those cars offer superior EV tech and better brand recognition. The high-performance ZDX Type S, which costs $73,500, pushes the price even closer to luxury EVs that buyers already trust. The base model also only offers an EPA estimated 313 miles, but the sportier Type S drops to just 278 miles. In a market where range anxiety is still a major concern, this puts the ZDX behind competitors like the Tesla Model X with 348 miles and the Rivian R1S at 352 miles. It may be a Honda, but the reliability score is rough. Since the ZDX is based on GM's Ultium platform, which has already seen software issues and charging inconsistencies, buyers are hesitant to commit to a brand new Acura EV with no track record. The timing couldn't be worse for Acura. EV demands have slowed as more buyers shift back to buying hybrids, and Acura's brand strength has always been in performance-oriented gas cars, like the Integra and MDX. The ZDX's high price tag, unknown reliability, and fierce competition makes it a tough sell, and if sales don't pick up, Acura may have to rethink its EV strategy. Number 6. Fiat 500e. The Fiat 500e was supposed to be a fresh start for Fiat in the US EV market, but so far, it's barely making a dent. Despite a 153% increase in overall Fiat sales in 2024, the numbers tell a different story, because Fiat only sold 1,528 units of the 500e last year, compared to its gas-powered predecessor, which used to sell over 40,000 units a year in the US. This is nothing. Stellantis has also halted 500e production multiple times due to poor demand, with fewer than 500 units sold in the US as of late 2024. The most recent shutdown extension into early 2025 indicates continued difficulties at the Mirafiori plant in Italy, where it's made. Earlier versions of the 500e, particularly the 2014 model, are also plagued with drivetrain failures, sudden power loss, and stalling. Even newer models have been experiencing battery issues and software glitches, leaving potential buyers skeptical about long-term ownership. Fiat's global electrification push isn't enough to convince buyers, especially when alternatives like the Chevy Bolt and Mini Cooper SE offer better practicality at a lower cost. Number 7. Chevrolet Bolt EUV. At one point, the Chevy Bolt EUV was supposed to be the budget-friendly EV that would bring electric cars to the masses. Now, it's sitting on dealership lots with hardly anyone willing to take a chance on it. With an average price of $32,695, dealers are stuck with a 267-day supply and 6,914 unsold units. GM already discontinued production in December 2023, but there's still a massive backlog of unsold inventory that isn't moving fast. The biggest problem is battery fires. GM has to recall over 140,000 Bolt EVs and EUVs after reports of battery defects that could cause fires, but the damage to its reputation was done, and no recall could save it. In late 2024, another 107 Bolts were recalled, renewing safety concerns. GM even warned owners to park outside and avoid overnight charging, which isn't something a customer would want to hear about their brand new car. Now, that 247-mile range is decent, but the Bolt EUV is up against the Hyundai Kona Electric and Tesla Model 3, both of which offer better tech, faster charging, and strong resale value. Even the Nissan Leaf, which was on the brink of failure, is now outselling it, thanks to a huge discounts. Chevrolet tried that too, but the Bolt EUV is still struggling to attract buyers. The used market isn't much better, with values dropping as much as 30% in the last year, making it one of the worst appreciating EVs available. Number 8. Toyota Mirai. Toyota took a gamble with the Mirai, betting that hydrogen fuel cell technology could be the future. But instead of taking off, the Mirai is stuck sitting at dealerships with a 342-day supply and 2,307 unsold units, making it one of the slowest-selling vehicles in the US. The biggest issue is that hydrogen refueling infrastructure is nearly non-existent. There are only 54 hydrogen stations in the entire US, which almost all of them clustered in California. Even in its home market, refueling a Mirai is an inconvenience, and outside of California, it's practically impossible. Then there's the price. The Mirai starts at $50,325, which isn't bad for a luxury sedan, but when compared to battery EVs like the Tesla Model S or Mercedes EQE, it doesn't hold up. Toyota offers free hydrogen fuel for 6 years. But that doesn't help much when you can't even find stations and hydrogen prices have tripled in some areas. Toyota tried pushing incentives to move inventory, offering 0% APR financing for 72 months, $15,000 in fuel credits, and even lease deals as low as $499 a month. But buyers would rather get a Tesla and call it a day. Unless hydrogen infrastructure drastically improves, the Mirai's days are numbered. Number 9. Volkswagen Arteon. Volkswagen's flagship luxury sedan, the Arteon, blends premium features with sleek coupe-like styling. It's pretty and all, but it's barely moving off dealer lots. Right now, dealerships are holding a 298-day supply of Arteons, with 1,804 unsold units across the US, despite its $44,305 starting price. Buyers would much rather get something else for that price. But the problem is that the sedan market is collapsing. Sales of traditional sedans, particularly large ones, are rapidly declining as SUVs take the lead. Even Volkswagen's own Passat was discontinued due to slow sales, and the Arteon hasn't fared any better. It doesn't help that Volkswagen hasn't done much to market the Arteon. Although it is marketed as a high-end substitute for the Nissan Maxima or Toyota Avalon, most consumers at this price range simply choose the Audi A5 or BMW 3 Series. This also means the resale value isn't all that great. The Arteon loses nearly 50% of its value within 3 years, making it one of the worst appreciating sedans on the market. Volkswagen has already discontinued the Arteon in favor of the upcoming ID.7 electric sedan, so those remaining models are likely to sit on lots until dealers start offering discounts to clear them out. Number 10. Subaru BRZ. The Subaru BRZ has always had a loyal fan base. Despite its reputation as an affordable sports car, sales aren't looking good. With a 312-day supply and 2,410 unsold units, it's clear buyers are skipping the BRZ in favor of other options. One major issue is that it's a tough sell in a market obsessed with SUVs. Sports cars already have a limited audience, and with rising insurance costs, high interest rates, and the growing appeal for performance crossovers, small coupes like the BRZ and Nissan Z are struggling. The BRZ starts at $30,195, but the range-topping TS trim crosses $36,000, which isn't far from a base Mustang GT with 480 horsepower, and there's a huge market for all-American muscle cars. While the BRZ is fun to drive, its 228 horsepower engine doesn't feel competitive when similarly priced cars offer nearly double the power. Reliability is another concern. While Subaru generally has a strong reputation, early BRZ owners have reported oil consumption issues, transmission problems, and clutch failures, especially with the manual models. Despite solid driving dynamics, the BRZ didn't quite gain the market share it should have. Buyers looking for an affordable sports car are either going for the Toyota GR86, Mazda MX-5, or skipping this segment altogether in favor of high-performance SUVs. Rising car prices, shifting market trends, and stronger competition have just made it impossible for these cars to find buyers. Thanks for watching. These cars might turn heads, but their sales are seriously falling behind.